Hello out there, and good morning, traders. It is February 23rd, 2024. Welcome to the Apteros Daily Market Insight for the ES. So let's dive in here, take a look at our recap, and then update our session plan and levels for today. So yesterday, the general theme was bullish is the name of the game, but we were out in kind of a touchy spot on the ES in terms of the overall risk reward landscape in our context picture. So we're actually in a similar situation today, but we were paying attention to how this market might react around these prices. In other words, to continue to push higher, we needed more and more and more energy, and we continued to see that throughout the session. We ended up seeing kind of a shallow pullback into the open, where the open kind of showed us the energy of what was going on in this market right up into a first neutral destination. From there, we went sideways around that area, but we never got below it. And that's important. No real acceptance, no real turn over to the downside that put us back underneath this reference. We just continued to hold at this area. And then we started to see the bulls coming back. And we got another hold here, low level kind of opportunity, but the acceptance picture was there above it and continued back up into this neutral reference here, where there was no opportunity whatsoever to get short, just heading into a destination, blasting through it, holding it from above for the remainder of the session and kind of into the overnight here. So that's where we find ourselves currently sitting today. Let's update our levels and plan for the session. Okay, so taking a look at what we have going on today, we're in a very similar situation that we were yesterday. The difference between yesterday and today really boils down to the risk reward landscape in our overall context. We had some room to the upside yesterday that we could have, followed along with a general bias, and that's what we ended up seeing, right? We ended up seeing a very shallow pullback, and then the continued energy just pushing into our overall destinations, and then even going a little higher. And today, now that that higher time frame idea has hit its destination, has hit its targets, we're really just kind of out in open space, pushing to the upside. We have a lot of bullish confluence across the board. That is true. But we're out where destinations are. We're out where the context needs more and more and more energy to continue to push the prices. So what we have essentially sitting here today, looking at our DMI, is a very neutral day overall. You can see where we're at in terms of prices out here. We have a little bit above us over here, the neutral reference, and we can end up, into that. And then from there, if we get higher, it's more all-time high grind. It's more all-time high energy. It's more continued pressing for a Friday afternoon or for a Friday, trading session. But if we start getting out to here or whatever, we start seeing that rollover, that pullback type of scenario. Well, then as we start to come down, we get into, I guess you'd say, higher time frame, bigger context pullbacks. And whenever that happens, you have to be very, very aware and cognizant of that type of situation. So for me today, I would honestly put out there's no real official scenario building, line in the sand type trading today. It would be more or less kind of sticking with an intraday framework that is bullish out in this open space here. And once you get down below here, then we could start seeing a little bit more of a pullback heading down into some higher time frame ideas where we would be looking for overall bullishness. So just to reiterate kind of the overall landscape that we're looking at here, yes, the context is completely bullish across the board, and the overall bias is bullish for us. So that's what we want to stick with. That's essentially scenario one. Stick with bullish opportunity. However, you have to be cognizant and aware where you're out at all-time highs, you are pressing and continuing to press extremes and destinations on, NADRO framework ideas. So whenever you hit those destinations, usually it's a good time for any NADRO trader to kind of hit the brakes, pause, wait for better risk-reward landscape to play out, and then take advantage of that after pullbacks. Now, that is the key word for us in today's DMI. The risk-reward landscape to the upside is being pressed and has essentially run out from our bigger time frame ideas. Now, it's just about understanding that we are in a bullish context and bullish scenario, and we have to continue to stick with that until proven otherwise. And for us out at these prices, there really isn't much for us to trade from in a line in the sand type of scenario. So the best thing I can offer for the DMI today is we are bullish, and we have a lot of room to test that overall area. A lot of, what is it, 60 points or so to start testing until we get down into any real bullish inflections, real, areas that make a lot of sense for us in terms of confluence, references, and price overlap. That's down here, in the 50-40s. So out here, we have a nice neutral reference that definitely can be used for an opportunity if the market stabilizes, holds it, and we start seeing that release or that good inflection coming out of there. And that would be something that you could pay attention to for today's session. But it's not a line in the sand. This is all neutral. This is all neutral territory as far as I'm concerned. All of it. So no official real DMI in terms of scenario building or lines in the sand. We have bullishness across the board. Yes, stick with the bulls until proven otherwise within a process system. If you don't have an intraday framework or system that you use, we do. You can, join us and come learn what that is. But if you don't have something that you use, be cognizant and be aware that you are out of the extremes and the market needs more and more and more energy. So if you're seeing good energy today to the upside, continue to stick with it until proven otherwise. And that's kind of the overall landscape of the analysis that I'm seeing from the NADRO framework here. All right. So trade well out there. Mind your risk, mind your process, because that's the stuff we can control. And let's have a good trading day.